Hi and welcome to another video of Dad's RC Hangar. My name's Chris and we've got a lockdown special for you today. Yes, it's not a Friday, it's a Wednesday. And we're going to be doing the old crow. Okay, welcome back. And we're going to get up close and personal for a little bit. So, this is the old crow, as we've been working on in the previous videos, and I've been doing some bits and pieces off camera. Sacre bleu, you're saying? Oh my golly gosh, we could have been watching you. Trust me, I was experimenting. Yeah, let's just leave it at that, shall we? So what have I done here? So you remember, oh, stop kicking the camera, don't kick the camera. Oh, he's done it again. Here we go, start again, shall we? Right, so if you remember, we had the we got these speaker port kind of covers that was in the back, front and the back, which we'll show you in a minute. A lot of real estate, a lot of space, whatever you like to call it. So basically, I wanted to put obviously a receiver in here. We've got the landing gear, cabin sequencer, and also the LED light controller. And we got a sound system. Now I couldn't get the actual sound system that belonged to this plane or that was an upgrade. Also there's a lot of people outside, we're on lockdown, so you're going to hear some random noises, so like my neighbour knocking and stuff, but it is what it is. Right, so what have I been doing? Okay, so let's bring up a closer look at the front. So I've left, this is a transducer speaker that you get with the MrRcSound that Aspire. It is quite expensive, and it looks like I've cut a hole in there. That's only the metal, so that's not going to be too bad. When I was, as you can see, on the front of this, if you look on the website, MrRC, it's got a little ring. A transducer is different from a speaker. It actually sticks and resonates. Still pushes a bit of air because it does move a bit, but it's more resonation. That's even a word. I believe that's the truth anyway. Yeah, so, and it used to have a 3M sticker that used to stick to the body of the plane. Because we've got so much space, I can keep it so it's all, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll think of it in a minute, but it's all central anyway, so it's not going to be either side. So it's not going to weight either side, as to say. There's a word for it, and it's just totally gone out of my brain. Anyway, so I use some glue, foam tack to stick this, and it's pretty solid. If it comes off, I don't know. We'll soon find out in flight. Had to cut a bit of the wood out so I could bring it as close as to the bottom as I can, so it doesn't interfere inside. So there it is, and then you've got your speaker cable that comes attached. Now the ESC I moved over and forward because I wanted it from the back. I wanted it clear from in here, which I'll show you in a minute. Then I've cut out a piece of foam, just with a cut out there. Not the best cuts, I must admit, but it works well. To add a bit of a boom boom space, as to say, and then this will go over it and cover it all in, and there you go. You got your speaker housing, which should hopefully sound good. As I've never used MrRcSound, so we'll give that a go. Now, as you can see, I've from all of this, I've run a lot of cables because I've changed the positions of everything. If you look in the let's put it back down here a minute before I drop it. If you look in the like some other videos, there's not many actually, but some other videos and the instructions. Everything comes here in the wing, and you know the sequencers. These puppies all fit in the wings, and then your receiver's kind of over here, and it's all a bit crazy. And I thought, I'm not going to have that. That is just too. That's not me at all, as you know. Now, obviously, these I've pushed back. These rods were coming right the way forward. So if you imagine you got your cable there, I mean, you're going to catch that surely. I don't know, but you know, don't call me Shirley. So, what have I done here? Apart from bringing a load of extra cables through, and I went crazy last night with all my sticker things, my printable stickers, so I know what goes where. We've got at the front here, we've got the extension, and oh, that's actually lost its sticker. I've actually got too close here now, haven't I? There you go. yeah, so I made all these. I've got these connections that I can make. There's a little speaker. I don't know, I can't remember the name of them, but that's what's on the speaker. So everything's all lovely and sexy and heat shrinked. And here, obviously, I've got, these are all the LED cables, and these will fit into the LED cables on the wing. And then you've got your landing gear, which goes into a three-way. So you've got two on the wing, obviously, and then I've got cabin. Now they call the flaps, not the flaps. They call the doors for the landing gear cabins. A cabin door. I don't know why. Yeah, cabin door, whatever. So I put on there cabin left, cabin right, and then you've got the standard sort of rudder elevator. And what's that one? That is the audio throttle. Now we'll go into a bit more of that in a minute. There's quite a lot to tell you yeah. So here you've got a piece of wood anyway that was in the actual. Let's just turn that down a notch, because it's a bit too bright on there, I think. Anyway, they had a bit of wood there, so obviously they always thought of planning to put something there. So I basically stuck a bit of wood here, a bit of balsa, and then I've 3D printed this bad boy. There you go. So I've 3D printed the two holes there. Will screw into here. You've got a cable tie for the cables. I have forgot to put a little hole, so I'll put a little hole in here so I can drill that down. And then a standoff for the receiver. So when this fits in, if I just push this down in here, I'll get the aerials out of the way. That fits down in there, and all the cables will go underneath there. So if I turn around, there's the receiver. Now it's got to face backwards because I'm going to be probably using the stabilisation. But you know, it's there. These will obviously come round to the side, and you've still got plenty of room for the battery. This battery bay was made originally for two batteries, one for the sound system, that's an older sound system, and two for the engine. And it's only a 4S, so plenty of space in here for, you know, you could a 4S 75C. I'll probably whack in this baby. So yeah, so then I had to put a new connector. An black XT60, because I've got two cables that come off there that actually power the sound system. Now the sound system, MrRcSound, doesn't pull hardly anything, so you're not going to see a great difference in your flight. I would say. I can't, you know, we won't be able to confirm that until we do our maiden. So there you go. That's why she sits there. It's brilliant, fantastic. You know, there she is. You know, you can bind her and everything else, and at the end of the day, you can come out and you can take it out. Now these will all obviously not be here, but then I've got my wings that sit on here, and I don't want all the things, so I've got all the cables going in here. So what I did is I just cut out a bit of polystyrene that I had. I could have done it in 3D print, but polystyrene just as light, and then that just sit over there. So now any cables that come from there are all going to go hopefully underneath. You know, I've got to work out these pins. I mean, when we do the rudder, the rudder assembly and everything else, the back towel, we'll work out how far that's coming forward. But obviously, you know, I don't want it to start hitting cables and bits and pieces. But that's my protection anyway, because there's quite a lot of cables that come out the wings. You know, you got flaps, ailerons, LEDs. I think it's 3 LEDs, cabin door, and landing gear. A lot of cables. So you know, I'm really surprised they put this like this. Why they didn't, you know, maybe put it into the back speaker, I don't know. I mean, you look at the back speaker port here, there's just oodles of space. Oodles. Now obviously there's a lot of cables coming out because I'm putting the sequencer and the audio in here, which I'll show you in a minute. But look down there, you know, they could have put it down there. I mean, you know, they made for the wheel and everything else, if I just push this in, this comes off, you can see the two servos down there. So then why couldn't they put the servo in there? Whatever. So anyway, so I've cut this bit of wood out. And why have I cut that out? Well, if I stick this in here, all these cables, hoping that, I mean, I try to be sort of cut them down, these little printed, you know, printmaker thing, whatever it's called. And they're not very greatly sticky. It's like this one, it says LED flash, but there you go. So once again, I've 3D printed a holder. This is the Aspire, which is RC. It doesn't weigh anything, I must admit. I was worried about the weight. You see the 3D platform that I made there, so it had 2 screws on the bottom, if I can get that in shot. So you can see the little standoffs there. That's actually got a screw going through under there, so it's the reverse of these. And I had a couple of longer screws that just screwed straight into there. Hot glued the quarter rings on here. I did have them as a ring, but it doesn't fit in there, me stupid. And then all we need to do, I mean, on the MrRcSound, you've got the audio. This can go. This goes to your. It can either be in your throttle, or it can. You can have it into a switch, and then do a mix on your transmitter. Now I want to put it in. I might put it in the throttle, but I'm looking. I haven't got another splitter cable. So just to get it working today, I might have to just put it on a switch. I don't know yet. Let's just we'll get there when we get there. I'll probably. You know, by the time we put everything in, I mean, I'm not sure how far we're going to get today with today's video. You know, I mean, I did a lot of this because obviously, you know, I rev it on, and you didn't really need to sit there me making holes and bits and pieces. I could have time lapsed it, but I just wanted to get it done. It was a lot of thinking on my behalf and 3D printing and everything else. So you've got the power that comes out here. You've got the volume there. There's a preloaded SD card in there with full of sounds and bits and pieces, and I think you can upgrade. You can have two speakers, but I'm just using the one speaker. Yeah, and that basically, if I can get the right, once it fits in there, if I've got the right way around, there is a way, which way around, is that no, I'm lying, the speaker goes at the back, power goes at the front. And it goes, sits on there. So screwed in, wouldn't even know it's there. That's what I mean. So, you know, that's going to, still air's going to be flowing through, I think, the whole body anyway. So, obviously got a heat sink there. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't weigh a lot at all. I thought it would be, oh my God. So, you're probably looking at all that, you know, the same as the speaker that would have been there in the first place. So, as for CG, centre of gravity, C of G, should I say, it should be fine. I mean, we will go through all this. I mean, it's a lot of complex stuff going in here. Now we've got the controllers for the LED and sequencer. So you know, I'll stick them in there, and I can plug them in, and then I'll Velcro them inside so we can get them back out again. But we'll do that right down there. So I think we've all caught up. So I mean, it doesn't sound a lot, but you know, there's a lot of cables. When you think about it, all these cables have got to be, you know, connected and to the LED controller, you know, the cabin doors, and oh, it's just cables and cables and cables. But I think I've run them all in. I believe so anyway. I did have a count up last night, and I think that everything's there that should be there. Lots of cables, lots of kit to put in. I need to try and find a Y cable really, because so I don't have to mess about with mixing. As I say, on my X10, I'm not sure how to mix actually. I haven't tried it, not needed it yet, because you know, I normally only go out on as a trainer. So I could get the X9D out. I know how to mix on that, but hey, we will see. But yeah, let's see if we can get something installed and connected, and move on. Okay, so say we're going to be jimping. Oh my God, the lockdown's getting to me. Jumping about. So first of all, I just want to speak about a couple of things. I mean, the actual Bible is quite detailed, but on the actual build it's not. But anyway, let's just look at these. So we have got, I'm probably a bit hot on here, but we'll go for the LED light controller, and obviously we've got, well not obviously, but we've also got the landing gear sequencer. Now it's kind of weird. I mean, the paperwork is brilliant. I mean, you've got this diagram here. I'm hoping that the lighting's not too mad. Try and darken it down for you. There you go. So you've got your receiver, then it obviously goes to your left aileron, right aileron, servo and flap. So you've got those two splitter cables there. Then it comes as the multifunction sequencer, which go into a single cable and then splits to 3 with main retracts left and right. So your wing, oh my god, your wings, your wing wheels, and your rear retractor, so your rear wheel. So that all comes off of that, and that's basically all comes off that sequencer. So that obviously goes at the same time. Then you've also got the same on the sequencer. You've got the main retract cabin servo. Main retract cabin servo left and right, and then your rear retract cabin servo, which is you know, you'd normally, I mean, I think on one of the cables on the back here it calls it landing gear door, so I don't know why that's on there, excuse me. So that is your sequencer, and then you get a cable coming from the sequencer into your LEDs. Now you don't have to do it this way. You can have it on a switch, so you can turn the lights on without the wheels being down, etc, etc, but we'll go with the flow. So they've got static light, flashing and flashing. These are on the side here, and it is written on here. It's quite decent. Let's just bring that in so you can just about see that, maybe. Yeah, so you've got flashing. This all line ports, so you can have up to 1, 2, 3, 4 flashing, and you can have up to 6 static lights. So it's you can add more LEDs if you want to. Let's get my shot, and that is it. That's your sequencer. Now it does come with a bit more info. It gives you these 2 pages in here actually, which is really cool, to show you that, you know, it can come off your, obviously, input B, I think it is. That's there. If I just have a look at that other cable, that is the light controller. Sorry, the light controller. That's really weird, because light controller is you haven't got these 2. It's only one. Whatever. It's really weird as well. It tells you that to go into here, to go off to the cabin, the landing gear goes into this bottom here, but it's actually, if you look at here, see that's the top, and then they've kind of turned it upside down and told you to plug it. Why didn't they just keep it the same? Donuts. Making me confused. So it doesn't take a lot to me to be confused, believe it or not. So yeah, so on the sequencer itself, multifunction landing gear sequencer, yeah, you've got the input here that comes either from a switch. You can have it directly out of like port 8 of your receiver or something, so it can work off a switch. Sorry, so it will work off a switch. Sorry. That's me thinking of the audio. Way. So yeah, so you put this into sort of, I think I set it up for port 8 maybe. So then as soon as you flick the switch, it does the sequence, so then the cabin doors open. Yeah, I'm saying cabin doors now. So the retract flaps doors open. There's probably a word for it, who knows. We'll look on the forum, tell me what it is, or leave it in the comments, because my brain's gone. And then the landing gear will pop out, and then when that does, that sends in a signal, which will probably be the last signal. So I think it's this one it goes into, because it was that one. So it probably works maybe sorry, out of shot there, probably works left to right. So, and that maybe, I don't know, but then you'd think that if that worked from left to right, that'd be at the bottom there. So who knows, maybe it works as a zigzag, but we will see. I mean, it'll either blow up or break or whatever, but this is what confused me a bit. You see here, see where on here it says, like, you know, at the bottom left, but if you look at the fat bit there and the thin bit there, fat bit there, thin bit there, that's the right way up, and that's upside down. Why would you do that? And then here, I don't know. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you what we're about to do. So before we go and have a look at all the cables, because we'll wire these in first. Wire this into my extension cable that goes all the way to the front, and yeah, and back in the room. Yes, I'm back in the room, about to do the sequencer and the LED light. For you, it was a quick pass through in the video. For me, I had a nice cup of tea. Yes, I'm British, I like my tea. So, okay, right, so we're going to stick this sequencer in. Probably haven't got the best light, because it's kind of, the light's back here, over there, hello. But we're going to go with this. So, now, on the spit it out, Chris, on the Mustang, you've got 2 landing gear lights that are on the actual landing gear, and then you've got some tip lights which is obviously a port starboard red and green. So which should be here. So it's basically, you've got two flashing, so that's LED on. I've put my LED on there as static, and I've got a cable that says nothing. Okay, that's probably lost its little sticker, but I would have thought that would be LED on, because that is LED flash. Oh, that's a flash. Okay, so we've got one that's being naughty. So if I look back on here, I've got an LED on. Why have I got an extra on? So I've got a sequencer. What's that one do? That's the speaker. That is the actual sequencer, which I'll pull that through on there. So that's the speaker, landing gear door, cabin, audio, throttle. So that'll be on the audio in a minute. I need to sort of group these up really into their respective cable looms, as to say. But I just want to make sure I've got everything first. So cabin right, cabin left, which is correct. And then that will go with the landing gear door. That's a super long cable, because the landing gear is just there. So it doesn't matter. It's all good. It'll all be living inside here, nice and neat, hopefully. But I'm a bit concerned about my LED. So I've got... I just want to check. It should say on here actually what... I could be totally lying. I try to be all good and happy. No, I've got two flashing and two static, which is correct. So there's my LED flash, LED flash, LED on. Yeah, LED on. So I was right. I was just over counting. So let's just let me just put that in my little sticky thing. They're not that sticky actually, but it's just this, you know, little printer machine. What is it? LED on. So print away. It's just I mean, I shouldn't really worry about getting that neat and cutting them down, because obviously they're prone to coming off, as you've just seen. Let me just I should really turn off my phone when I'm videoing, shouldn't I? So let's just stick that LED on down there, and fold it over nice and neat. Might as well just I should leave them like that really, because then they won't come off. So LED on. So there's my 4 LEDs. So that goes into my LED controller. So yeah, excuse me. So I'm not sure. I mean, I've been wanting to look at the real flight, and I keep forgetting to see when it comes into land, did the landing gear flash or did the tips flash? Because I've seen a couple of videos where people have maidened the Mustang, and they have static gear and flashing tips, which I would have thought was the same, I suppose. Although normally you'd have like a tip that's green all the time and then a white flashing inside. I don't think it has that on the LED. I'm sure it's just one LED. I have to have a look. But we can always turn it around in here if we want to, in these. But what would you? I don't know. I mean, I think the green and red should stay static really, because they are in most planes. Because most planes on their tips will have the green and red static, and then they'll have a little flashy light in there. Am I correct in saying that? And then the landing gear will flash. I suppose that's good in a way, because it'll let you know where the orientation of the plane. But anyway, so we'll carry on with this LED flash. Now the negative goes at the top, I believe. I want to double check that, because the LEDs just won't work. They won't blow up, they just won't work. What does it say on the thing? It doesn't say. On here it's got a plus and a minus, so minus being negative, so we'll go with the top with that. So that's a flasher. Here's a flasher, so we'll stick him in there. Chuck-a-bum. Here's an LED on, so we'll stick him in there like so. These are all connections. See, I'm getting better at these connections. If you've seen my other video of me making these, I'm getting better. Not brilliant, but better. And light 2, so we'll go in with light 2. So that would be left and right, port starboard, and then another flasher. which doesn't really matter, goes in together, so they can flash. So there's the little bunch, all just ready to rock and roll. So that's what I mean. I'm going to just stick them in there with a bit of Velcro, my favourite stuff. As I say, I've got some heat shrink, so maybe I should just heat shrink down there just to keep them together. Yes, I will do that. Should I? So now, should I pause it or should I let me ramp about? Oh, let's ramp about. don't worry about my noise. I've just got to, no, I'm lying to you. I've got to stop it because I've got to get my case, because I thought I was really ready, steady cook, but I'm obviously not, so no. Shall we just put that in there for now? Not too worried about it. No, let's do it properly. I'm back in the room. Oh yeah. Right, so what have I done? Well, I've cut a bit of heat shrink. I've put the actual cables through the heat shrink. You don't really need to see me to do that. And I've got my wonderful man dryer, as I like to call it. It's not a hair dryer. I'm always saying that men and women both use hair dryers, so that was a bit sexist, I guess, wouldn't it? Really, I do apologise. So I've got my hot blowy thing. How's that one? There we go. In fact, it's a hot air gun that you can't see because I've got 2 ends being used. But there you go, hot air gun. Whew. So without trying to, if I do it inside the box, otherwise I'm going to end up, if you heat up, it's really good actually, if you heat up foam, sometimes it can make it go back into shape, but if you heat it too much, you end up burning it and it goes like a really bad crocodile hair skin day. Anything. So I'm just going to heat that up just to keep these together, because I want to make it nice and neat. So let's do that. Let's test that one. And I did put another one, so let's just keeps them there, just so it's a bit together. Excuse me. So let's just pull this one through on the other side and just push these cables so they all kind of match up. Yeah, that gun does get hot because it heats the rest of the cables up. Would that be there or down there? Yes, I know, I'm being a bit OTT, over the top. But then again, if I'm going to do it properly, I mean, I didn't have to do all this. I could have just chucked, if it was, I could fly, and I could just chuck it in and go for it. But it's great when you sort of get into it and your soul goes into it. It becomes just more than an RC plane. It just becomes an extension of your love and soul. Really deep. But it's going to get my soul in a minute if this cable don't turn around. Get around. Here we go. Right, so let's get my hot air gun. So because there is ladies that are present as well on the channel. La da 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 da. Should have been a singer. Here we go. Right, that's all hotted, gunned up, and it just makes it a bit more neater. So neater. So when I press that, pull that round, because this end will go. It's hot in there. Right. Where's the other end going? The other end goes into the wings. There. So there you go. So it's all, if I just pull that a bit straight, because it's all been a bit loose. And one more should be not that one, it's not that one, and it's not that one, and it's not that one. It's gonna be number 4. No, 1, 2. You probably can't see what I'm trying to do here, but there's a little loop there. It's annoying me. And it's that one there. There you go, all straight. Right, so let's go back to the sequencer, shall we? Now we've done this one, so we've got our LED on, so negative up, so that will go to light number 2. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I think you can. Be pretty useless otherwise, wouldn't it? So light number 1. Oh, someone's alarm's going off. Flashy flash number 2. Flashy flash number 1. Get in there. No, yes. Right. There you go. Maybe you can hear that. Somebody's alarm's going off. So that will stick in there rather nicely. What I have got to be careful of is that right down there, which you probably can't see, is the shaft from the retracts at the back. And so it does poke through a bit, so I've got to be careful of that as well. Okay, so do we want to leave this hanging out or stick it down? Because obviously there is a little potentiometer there, a little screw that you can turn to make the flashing speed quicker or slower. I was actually thinking that I'd stick it to the side and then make a little drill hole in the side just to put your screwdriver. But I thought, well, no, I don't want to be putting holes in planes, and not just yet anyway. You know, I could just do it at the back as well. I mean, you know, I thought, no. If I just put, you know, if I put a little screwdriver in there, and that'd be fine. So it depends where I want to stick it, but I was going to stick it on the back there, which I suppose I could do right now. So, use my favourite stuff as usual, which is Velcro. You thought I was going to say my 3M, which is my new one. But no. Because I might want to pull these off again, and if they are 3M'd on, it'll probably pull half the plane off. So, let's stick my little Velcro square thingy bobby. Oh yeah. Very furry. And then I'll get my little... It's so sticky, it's great. And then I get my hooks. They're so shiny. And then what I'll do is that I'm probably going to have to move so I can see. If I just bring that round, and I'll put it right at the bottom of the deep blue sea. And if I put it right... Fat hand syndrome. Okay, hang on, let me just get that. I probably did have to go right down there, but I want to... Oh, okay. Let's go in there. That's alright. It's not right at the bottom, but then again, it's reachable. Fat hand syndrome in effect. And welcome back. Okay, so part 1 is done. The wiring of the ass of the old crow is done. I'm going to stop there with the audio, so we can explain the audio system a bit more while I'm putting it in. It is getting hot in the UK now, and where I'm in lockdown, my hair looks a bit like a Hair Bear bunch. I haven't got a lot at the top, but the sides comes out like a Nutty Professor. I was thinking of doing a Nutty Professor tomorrow, but I think we'll just go for a bit of a crew cut going on. Because obviously I'll get stinking hot in here because I've got the lights and the doors shut, and I haven't got anything to cool me down. So until tomorrow, because it will be tomorrow. So today is, what is today? What's the date today? Anybody know? It is the 8th of April 2020 on Lockdown Wednesday special. Tomorrow will be the Thursday special, lockdown special, and then leading us on to Friday. And who knows, if we get this puppy done, Friday could be our first live session. But don't hold me to that. But I'm sure you won't mind 3 days of seeing this build. As I say, if you do watching the videos for the first time, I do waffle on. But I like to go into detail. I don't like to suddenly speed through it and a quick file, because I want you to see what I'm doing and if I'm making mistakes, because you might want to do this. And you know, if you're doing exactly what I'm doing, think that's brilliant, then I can send you these 3D files. If you've got a 3D printer or know somebody, let us know. I'm not going to waffle on about who's just joined the forum. We'll do that tomorrow to say thank you for joining. As I say, all the relevant SSL certificates are up and running, so it's a safe site. So apart from me, because I'm mad and I'll just be plopping in now and then saying hello. So until then, please keep safe. You know, stay in, save lives and all that sort of stuff, which is absolutely true. All over the world, don't mingle. If you're lucky enough to fly in the field and no one around you, then fantastic. If you're not, then you know, just watch my nutty videos, leave some comments, hate me, love me, whatever. But I'll be seeing you tomorrow. So until tomorrow, keep safe and have fun. See ya. Bye.